Hi, it's Feculus here, and we're enjoying the beautiful fall weather, the lovely colors, the cooler temperatures, less bugs. Everything is glorious except for one thing. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but the fall seems to be the time of burrs. Burrs, 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 everywhere burrs. I'm not sure if it's because the grass gets a little bit lower and the horses are starting to sort of look a little closer for grass that maybe they missed during the summer months, but for some reason we always seem to have problems with the burrs in the fall. And you know, I was out there a couple of weeks ago in our field where we turned the horses out, and I thought I'd gotten every single burr plant that I could find out there, chopped them all down, hacked them down, and the other day a horse came in with a burr, which means there's one lousy, sneaky plant out there somewhere that we'll try to find. There was a fellow, I guess in the 1940s, I think, I forget his name now, he's a Swiss guy, and he ended up sort of being as annoyed by burrs as I am, and he was found them on his hunting dog and he took them off, but unlike me, he actually did something about it, and he looked under a microscope and he could see how they were made, and he actually invented Velcro. That's the only good thing I can say about burrs, that somehow somebody thought of Velcro from burrs. Other than that, I hate burrs. Like, luckily, we don't have as many as this poor lady did. She gave me permission to use her picture of the little pony after he got out into the field where all the burrs were. The way we do it with horses is we'll either use Shoshine, Ventralin. I know somebody who actually uses WD-40. I'm not sure I would do that, but it does apparently work to get the burrs out. And as I say, that's the tedious part of it, is just sort of picking the burrs out of the horse's mane and tail. Sometimes it's on their legs, on their body, whatever. The part that worries me is the ones that are in the forelock, because then, with those little fibers, they can get into the horse's eyes. So what we do at my place is we have a tea towel, very fancy, and we cut a couple of holes in it, and then we put it over the horse's eyes. Now, if you don't know the horse, it's not so, you don't want to just come at the horse and just throw a tea towel over their face, right? But if you know the horse and you can kind of talk them into it, it sort of works. So we put one over the ear. There we go. And just take our time with it. You don't want to scare the horse, right? On this side, she doesn't have any burrs. We're just pretending she does. I would take the forelock over here. Find my tea towel, which I've lost. Hang on a second. I can make that look awkward. Okay, that's okay, dear. And sometimes I'll even do it like this for a minute, you know, so the horse, it's the bird that's scaring the horse. Do you see the bird? Yeah. Okay. So, you know, so she can still see right now, so I'll just sort of let her relax into that. I'll pull the forelock. She doesn't have much of a forelock, but if she did, I'd pull it over this way. And then I'm going to cover up her eyes. We have a bird flying around in here right now, which is why she's looking a little startled. She's actually not startled by the tea towel, she's startled by the bird flying around. At any rate, so now I could easily take the burrs out of the forelock without risking getting any kind of fibers or anything on the horse's eye. And once I've gotten it all the burrs out of the forelock, then I would just remove this carefully, and all the fibers are on the tea towel, and there's nothing here on the horse's eye. We've had a lot of problems, like at my old farm. Oh my gosh, we had burrs. When I first moved there, they were over my head. The whole field was full of burrs, and we used to spend countless hours cutting burrs down, and when we weren't cutting the burrs down, we were taking the burrs out of the horse's manes and tails, and it was just brutal. And so we ended up having a lot of corneal ulcers, and I blame burrs for that, because those little fibers, when you take the burrs out of the mane, they break apart, and then eventually they work their way into the horse's eyes, and that's where you end up getting corneal ulcers. So that is all I have to say about burrs. I find this to be a pretty handy little tool, even though it looks kind of goofy. And again, if you don't know the horse, be careful on introducing a tea towel to their face. So that's it for this week. That's all I have to say about burrs. So if you're watching this anywhere besides at our blog, which is ismyhorsehappy.com, go on over there, scroll down, leave me a message. Let me know if you've ever had a situation like that poor lady with her pony with burrs like that. And if you know anybody who you could share this with, feel free. In the meantime, enjoy the fall colors. She's hating that bird wherever it is. Enjoy the fall colors, enjoy the less insects, the cool colors, and keep your tea towels handy. Talk to you next week, and remember to thank your horse. I think she deserves an apple after all those scary birds flying around. There we go. And Bella can enjoy an apple like almost nobody else I know. Is that good? There we go. It is good, isn't it? Takes the scary bird right out of her mind. Look at that.